There's debate here. Because we've been waiting for this one. Give me 1 sec, ninjas. All right. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Dean Withers versus 20 MAGA women. We've been waiting to do this one for a little bit. I'll cover this tomorrow as well. I'll cover some more of this with because this is an interesting thing. This deserves its own episode almost. So let's go ahead and get into this. We got some stuff ready for OSS as well. Before we get into this, guys, jump in. You guys got 19 hours. Get the merch. 250th anniversary. Once it's gone, guys. We're not putting this back up. One-time release, once in a lifetime. 250 fucking anniversary. OSS merch, high-quality hoodies and T-shirts. I'll drop the link for you guys here. Okay? Literally got 19 hours, ninjas. So get in while you guys can. Let's get into this Dean Withers debate.
Men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer.
I think that we need strong alpha
Oh, God, that voice is fucking painful. What the fuck?
males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk.
Did you just
On this street,
unironically say strong alpha males?
we have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. You are oppressed more than me.
Men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted to women.
Dude.
They had to make things up to get Trump. Trump doesn't have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump.
All right, listen, put your hand up if you would have sex with
This is going to be interesting.
Donald Trump.
Bro, like, Dean, are you that stupid? Women love power, bro. That's like a dumb question. Bro, Trump could probably fuck a bunch of different chicks, dude. Women love power, bro. They would definitely do it. Like, this is the problem with these wokey soy boys, man. They're so blue pilled, it's painful. Bro clearly doesn't understand that, you know, women care a lot about status. USA! And as the President of the United States, he's the most powerful person in the world. USA! 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 Punisher says, from one man who served this country to another. Happy 4th of July, bro. Cool. So excited to go watch Dean Withers debate soon. Got you. Already on it. Void says, every time a girl complains about a day or her hormones or something, I say, oh, you must be bored, and give her something to do like running my errands, doing my chores. That's funny. Facts.
USA! USA! USA!
Has Donald Trump been a good president for women, or has America moved backward from expanding women's rights to debating how far those rights should go? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of disagreeers. Today, we are diving into...
I got to get in here. I know Jubilee is looking for people. You can see her, look, apply to be on Surrounded, open, general casting. So, I need to get on there, bro. I would get them 1 million views in 24 hours. Easy work. Easy fucking work. Definitely within 48 hours. But Jubilee is fucking gay. Niggas blackballing the god.
to what feminism means on both sides of the aisle, abortion rights, and President Trump's record. I'm here with our featured guest, progressive commentator, Dean Withers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm excited. This will be fun.
All right, are you all ready to debate Dean? Yeah! All right, let's get into it.
I'm Dean Withers. I'm a 21-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today...
I always laugh when, like, these young guys, like, bro, you're 21. You just figured out how to wipe your ass. You know? But hey.
I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters again.
It's politics, so it's different.
But this time, they're all women. My first surrounded claim is, men aren't better at leading than women.
If you would like
All right, let's see. That's a very interesting proposition. It's open to interpretation, and yeah.
To debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Let's see what the women say. This is going to be interesting.
Good to see you again.
Welcome back, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal. So the first claim is that men are not better at leading than women. And I'm honestly appalled that you as a woman would disagree. But I mean, if you want to start it off by telling us why you do think men are better at leading than women, the mic is all yours.
Well, how I would like to start this off is I'd like you to define what a woman is.
Well, sure. I think that the definition of what a woman is ultimately irrelevant to this debate, and I'm willing to assume.
Not.
I'm willing to pre.
Yeah, he doesn't want to define it because if he defines it under what it really is, it's going to be offensive to his LGBTQ fans. Okay? He doesn't want to define it because he knows what's going to happen if he defines it. Okay? It's going to put him in a tight spot.
Assume your definition of what a woman is, i.e. an adult human female. See, if I were to give you my definition of what a woman is, an adult human individual that pertains to the social and cultural characteristics typical that of a female sex indexed to their gender identity, well, then all of a sudden we're going to be speaking past one another because we define the word woman differently.
Exactly.
So I'm more than happy to pre-assume your definition.
In the first place is kind of silly because you don't know what a woman is.
Well, I just told you what my definition of the word woman is. You just simply overlooked it.
I think it would also depend on what leadership role that person would take. For instance, if you wanted...
Yeah, so this is very important in the beginning of a debate is like identifying the root term, right? Like, and defining it so that we can agree. So for example, the dumbass retard, when I was debating Nick Matteau, I said it's a genocide. He said it's not a genocide. I said, look, the definition of genocide is the destruction of a group of people in whole or in part. And then his argument to that was, well, it doesn't accomplish specific intent, right? Which is the, what the fuck is it again? I can never remember this stupid ass term because it's so retarded. Solis, what is it? Hold on, I have it here, chat. Let me fucking. Dole specialis, right? Use a fancy term to try to fucking just keep a layman term. But either way, yeah. So it's like, oh, what's the dole specialis? Well, the specific intent is like the blockade and everything else like that. Right? The destruction. He argued no. I think he's delusional. And then the UN came out with a report proving that I was right. But I digress. But yes, defining terms up front is very important.
Kamala Harris, who you voted for to be the president of the United States. We have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily the woman, but it is necessarily foreign countries. For instance, the Middle East. If I go to a Middle East country as a woman, I can't show my hair at risk of being stoned.
Why are we talking about Middle Eastern countries?
That's not true. If you're a Westerner and you go to a Muslim country, they're not gonna give a fuck if you cover your hair or not, bro. That's unless like you go to fucking Afghanistan, you're in the mountains with Taliban. Yeah, maybe. But that is such a lie. I mean, look, let me show you what I'm talking about. People say all the time that Iran like beats women. Look at this, dude. Look. Oh, Iran has no freedom. What the fuck is this? Look at this. This is supposed to be like a radical theocracy, right? Like, bruh, bitches walk around without covering their hair all day.
This is the biggest mall on Earth, but you won't find a Starbucks or McDonald's here. The Iran Mall is twice the size of the Dubai Mall, but it's more than just a shopping center. It has a grand library and art.
You're going to see more women not covering their hair than women covering their hair. Look. Here's a 40-minute fucking walkthrough. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but look. And this is why so many people in MAGA are retarded, like this woman, like, oh, they're going to stall me. All right, bro, that's not true. Even the country that everyone says is the worst on women, y'all can see it right here. There's women all over the place. I see more women not covering their hair than covering their hair. Anyway, just debunking some propaganda.
Is when the prompt is men are not better at leading than women.
Because you're asking about leading. You voted for Kamala Harris. I think she would have been a horrible leader.
Agreed.
countries don't always see women as respectful as they see a man. A woman leading this country.
Okay, I see her greater point. She's trying to say women aren't respected as leaders. And then she used the example of women having to cover their own hair in Muslim countries, even though that's not technically true. But I see what she's trying to make a greater point, that we wouldn't be respected because women have a certain position in certain societies. And feminism isn't a thing in some countries. I see where her point is. It was retarded. She used a horrible example, but I understand her point. She's trying to say, as a world leader, Kamala Harris would not be respected in general.
For instance.
Which I agree, because Kamala Harris is a retard. And shout out to Punisher541. Thank you very much. Boss Yuck says, just ordered 1776 bundle. Everyone's get yours while still available. Thank you so much, Boss Yuck. Don DeMarco to you, my friend. So you got this bundle right here that has everything. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support, man. And rest assured, you are going to have the only situation, the only merch on this, because we're not bringing this back out.
When you go to doing foreign policy and all of those things, they would not have the respect that a man would. I can also say, as a woman, depending on your age, if I've got PMS, honey, I'm going to make different decisions than I would as if I didn't. If I'm going,
that's true. Women change biologically day to day, and their decisions are heavily influenced by how they feel, and how they feel changes every day. So that's very important. Okay, this is why women tend to be more, how do I say this, indecisive and volatile in their decision making.
Going through menopause, I might have hot flashes or whatever else. I believe as a Christian woman, men are supposed to lead. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to help. And I'm totally comfortable with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori. So the first thing that I'd point out here is that your position that maybe foreign countries wouldn't respect a female president as much as a male president, I don't think is represented through the fact that on the global stage, Harris had a significantly higher approval rating than Trump during the election. And there's a reason for that.
Okay, they're not going to like Trump because of what he did with NATO, okay? They're not going to, because Trump holds these other world leaders to the fire. Tariffs, you got to pay your fair share. He's extremely crass, unrefined. He's not a polished politician. So there's a multitude of different reasons as to why Donald Trump might not have high international approval ratings. But who cares? Honestly, who gives a fuck what these losers think? Okay, who gives a fuck what they think? As long as they respect him. That's all that matters. As long as they respect him. And when you're playing, when you're dealing with someone like Donald Trump, who will tariff you, will ridicule you in the public space, etc., that forces them to respect him. So the approval ratings don't matter. You don't have to like somebody. You just got to respect them. So that's what she's arguing. Or was that she's saying that Kamala Harris wouldn't get respect.
Because she would have been
which I agree.
Pushover. They would have walked right over her.
And that's exactly why she had significantly better policy, better character, would have been a better president for America.
Not at all.
But ultimately, once again, Lori,
failure.
The topic of debate is not, was Harris a better option for the president than Trump? Because even if we want to look at women and men on this macroscopic level of evaluating one woman compared to one man, even if it was true Harris was a clown and Trump was awesome, that still wouldn't mean that generally speaking, men are better at leading than women. The last point that you made there was about PMS, and I think that you're like indicating that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are, 100%.
Okay. Then tell me why men commit 92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive, commit suicide. So you think that testosterone is what makes men more emotional?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you just conceded the debate.
No, I did.
Okay, that's okay. So here's the difference. The difference between men and women when it comes to emotion is that men have the capability of conducting violence based on their physical stature. Okay? So the reason why men will commit more violent crime is because they're capable of doing it, okay? Women don't have the same ability to exert violence and force that men do, okay? Now, interestingly enough, there's a reason why lesbians have the highest rates of domestic violence. When they're with each other, they exert violence on each other because it's kind of like a fair play, okay? So, to sit there and say, because let me make sure I have his argument 100% correct here.
I think that testosterone,
so I don't mischaracterize his position. I've got to be fair.
Is what makes men more emotional. Crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive. Commit.
100%.
Then tell me why men commit 92% that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are. 100%.
Okay. So he's refuting. He does not think women are more emotional than men on average, and his support of that is...
Then tell me why men commit 92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive, commit suicide. So you think that testosterone...
Okay. Yes, the reason why men commit 92% of the crimes is not because men are more emotional than women. It's because men have the capability of exerting violence to a more significant degree than women do. So that's why. Just because you express your emotion in one way does not necessarily mean that you might be more emotional. Does that make sense, chat? So just because men commit more violent crime, that does not mean that they are more emotional than women. It's just that women can't commit the same level of crime because they don't have the capability of doing so.
Is what makes men more emotional.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But when you compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and it's two women in a relationship, what happens? They beat the shit out of each other. So if we want to talk about violence, okay, women are very violent as well in certain regards.
Well, then you just conceded the debate.
No, I didn't concede.
You just said that absolutely men are more emotional than men 5 seconds after saying that women were more emotional than men.
And that's kind of like somewhat of a red herring, because what I'm trying to say to you, women are more emotional. They just are in more of a, I can change my mind depending on my mood. Now,
when women being emotional does not have the same level of profound effect as a man being emotional, but that does not change. That does not mean that men are more emotional. It just means that men have more capability to exert those emotions via force. Okay? So when a man is emotional, it could lead to real term physical consequences. But that does not mean that men are more emotional. It just means that men are able to conduct, men are more able to exert violence and or force via their emotions. But women are emotional too. I would argue women are more emotional. It's just that they don't manifest it through violence. Like, let me tell you, guys want to know something about women? A girl will be sitting on her bed, right? And just like start crying out of nowhere. Okay? Like they'll think of something and just like start randomly crying. Right? They'll make a decision and do something based on the heat of the moment, and they can't even explain to you why they did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that men are more emotional. It's just that when men are emotional, there's significant physical ramifications of it that we can easily see. But women are still more emotional. It's just that you don't see it all the time, and it's not displayed via violence. So using the violence angle to justify that men are more violent is a ridiculous concept.
You're bringing in anger. You're bringing in violence. You're bringing in...
Is anger an emotion?
It is, but to a different extent. And honestly, if you've got a man that's violent, out of character alone, I don't want him leading the country.
Yeah, that's why you voted for...
Oh, yeah. You want to get into that? I know that's another problem, but I'm happy to get into that.
I guess we could get into that on the front.
Never accused of...
Okay, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lori.
If you would like to be the next debater, please get to the chair. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I'm going to give the mic to you. Why don't you tell us all why men are better at leading than women?
Men are better at leading because as a woman, I can tell you.
I have my answer, guys, but I want to see what these women are going to say.
That we're emotionally manipulated very easy. We tend to be compassionate because we, as a woman, and getting pregnant, it's inherent in us. Why? Because we deal with babies.
So women deal with babies, therefore women can be manipulated. I don't think that argument follows. But once again,
can be easily manipulated.
Women can be easily manipulated.
And convinced, yeah.
What's the argument for that?
It's inherent in us.
Okay, just saying that it's inherent is like me saying that what is actually inherent of women is that they can't be easily manipulated. That doesn't give me any substance to underpin your position when you just simply underpin your position by saying, well, it's inherent. And it doesn't push this dialogue forward. I would say that men are probably easier to emotionally manipulate than women, or else they wouldn't be culpable for 92% of violent crimes. We could
There he is using violent crime once again. That's kind of, he keeps using that as the basis of his argument. I would argue the violent crime shows that they're not susceptible to manipulation. That's why they fight, retard. A lot of the times the fighting occurred from some type of disagreement where the manipulation didn't work.
emotionally manipulate a man by making him lose a game of Fortnite. The next thing we know, there's 3 holes in his walls. All right, same thing with self-unaliving statistics, suicide. Suicide's a really bad thing, but it is true that men are significantly more likely to kill themselves than women on average. Same thing with drunk driving, gambling. And then when we look at women, they actually perform better in the fields that are less...
Now, here's the problem. There's no way to quantify who's actually more emotional. This is like a very, and this is where he thrives because he's using, okay, seeing if someone is more emotional, you can't really track that. So what he's doing is he's taking something that's fairly nebulous and he's attaching crime statistics to it to make it seem as if, okay, well, men are more emotional because they commit more crime. Well, that doesn't mean that women are more emotional. It's just that you're not able to find tangible statistics and numbers to rationalize that women are more emotional. But the reality is that women are more emotional. It's just that they don't have the ability to fucking exert that emotion in a physical manner that's demonstrable for you to see and assess via crime statistics. So I see what he's doing here. This is like, debate posturing to try to, and you'll notice this with a lot of like, these guys that like debate day in and day out. Like you have to do like little tricks like this to kind of make it a thing.
It's indicative of a
have it fairly broad so that you can interpret it how you want.
Emotional outbursts.
The prompt.
Such as performing well in school. And I mean, this is all underpinned by biology. There was a study done by the American Medical Association that proved that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male in the operating room at a hospital, that you're less likely to die or to experience any post-negative operative outcomes. Why? Because women are biologically designed to deal with stress and pain better than men because they have thicker dendrites in their brain. So ultimately, the science and the empirical facts completely reject the conclusions that you formed.
Not at all. Men.
Okay, so when he talks about this study or whatever, I'm somewhat familiar with this. What they found was basically that women had less fuck-ups in surgery than men. But here's the problem. There's far less female surgeons, okay? There's far less female surgeons. So there's going to be clearly more errors, mistakes, and medical malpractice from male surgeons because male surgeons are the majority of the surgeons.
Are more rational and
there.
women.
You've been voted out by the majority, so please return to your seat. If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Hey.
What's your name?
Annette Davis Jackson.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, yes.
So let's hear.
Oh, they got some gargoyles on here, bro. Thought we were done with this shit at the beginning of the show, man.
Why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How about I know that men lead better than women? Because women have the babies, you're emotional, but more important, I have a dad. I have a dad who is very strong, and when I see what President Trump is embodying, I say, and I know that you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you can roll your cotton balls, but you sure can't shoot them. So
what?
Men are strong just like...
Nigga, what?
Your cotton balls. I know that you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you can roll your cotton balls, but you sure can't shoot them. So,
all right.
So men are strong just like Trump because in the first 100 days, what did he do? He started writing executive orders.
Yeah.
He started writing executive orders day after day after day after day after day after day. Women would probably say, hey, ooh, let me take a break. That's why.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, listen, clearly I disagree with you about Trump. But that's actually not relevant to my counter-argument. I'll tell you why. Because even if Trump was a good leader, that doesn't mean that therefore men are better at leading than women on average. Like, for instance, in the same way that you could give an anecdote of a man that you think is good at leading to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women, well, I could just give an anecdote of the opposite. Hitler was a man. He was a terrible leader. Therefore, men are worse at leading.
No, he was not. That's wrong. Look, you don't have to like Hitler to acknowledge that he was a fantastic leader. What the fuck are you talking about? He was a fantastic leader, dude. Okay? Bro took a country that was cooked after World War I and made it the strongest economy within 5 years. What are you talking about? You don't have to like Adolf Hitler. We can, you can say Holocaust this, Holocaust that. Oh, no, awful, blah, blah, fair. No problem. That's not the point. The point is that he was a great leader for his people, okay? Germany benefited off of him being in power. Now, did he make a calculated mistake by trying to attack two different fronts at the same time? Of course. But people forget all the time that Hitler actually didn't want to go to war. He tried to to make a deal with the Brits multiple times, and they rejected his peace offering. So I don't care what you say. If you take a country that was on the brink of destruction and you're able to revitalize that economy in 5 years and invest in the people and have one of the strongest fucking economies, you're a good leader. He was a good speaker. He was very charismatic. And just so you guys know, just because you're charismatic and a good speaker and a good leader might not necessarily mean you're a good person. Very different. Okay? So two things could be true at the same time. But of course, you know, someone like a Dean Withers can never say what I just said because they label him as a fascist and an evil person because they're pussies. So he can't say what I just said. You know? Oh, Hitler was a terrible leader. No, he wasn't, buddy. No, he wasn't. You just don't like him personally, which is fine. No problem. But you could be a great leader but still be a bad person. The two can both exist, my friend. But he's too pussy to be able to even say that. He can't even say that. That's why these like soy boy progressives, like they're so fucking, like they have to nerf themselves like this and can't keep it real.
Leading than women, all right? But clearly that's not how it works, because we cannot attempt to allow an anecdote of what we think about one individual man to then exist as a portrait for a generalization about all men.
Why did you have to say Hitler?
Because he's obviously a bad leader that's a man?
Yeah.
Two pussies. Two pussies. She doesn't want to engage with it, and he obviously is going to say, yeah.
And
Do you agree?
The President of the United States, which is the Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump, is a great leader.
Okay.
And he's a great leader because he won a landslide.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So
if he could
true.
run again, he would run a landslide again.
Yeah. Well, guess what? He's not. He's a terrible president. His policy sucks. How about this? What's your favorite Trump policy? I mean, a bill passed through Congress, then signed into law.
I'm a former college coach, and not having men in women's sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
Oh, no.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. This is where we are in America now, where the president has to sign an executive order so little boys don't beat up little girls and take their scholarships away. I mean, this is where we are in America now, clown world. That's why Dean Withers refuses to actually define what a woman is. He literally said that cultural influences can dictate if you're a woman or not. What? What?
well, I'm sorry, what bill was that? I asked you a very specific...
Sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
Coach, and not having men in women's sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm sorry.
Executive order.
Sorry, what bill was that? I asked you a very specific
We
question.
got to stop there. That you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Okay.
All right. If you want to debate this claim, please get to the center in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
I think I remember you. Were you on my first Surrounded episode?
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Tell us why you think men are better at leading than women. It's worth me like reminding you and maybe everybody else in the room that so far a lot of the people who've come up and sat in that chair have really missed the mark. Like that last lady. She told me that men are better at leading than women because she likes Trump. Okay, let's hear in general why men are better at leading than women.
Well, this is why I think you're going to be surprised. I actually agree with you.
And why are you in the chair?
And I respectfully disagree with some of them. Well, I'm just saying some of the points that they were bringing up about a woman being pregnant and because somebody's can carry a baby that they're not fit to lead.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
it's the same argument where we say men go to work and come home and the woman stays and handles the household and the children. So is that not a powerful position? And I...
Bro, what? Yo, get this bitch out of here, bro. What the fuck is going on here?
also have to, I'm respectfully disagreeing here, and I want you to give me an example. If you
Are you guys lost like I am? I'm fucking lost. What the fuck did she just say? Am I crazy? What the fuck is this bitch saying? Let me go back. Let me be charitable here and try to fucking understand.
Be surprised. I actually agree with you.
And why are you in the
Okay, so you agree that men aren't better at leading, okay?
And I respectfully disagree with some of them. Well, I'm just saying some of the points that they were bringing up about a woman being pregnant and because
Okay, so you agree with Dean?
somebody's can carry a baby that they're not fit to lead.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
it's the same argument where we say men go to work and come home and the woman stays and handles the household and the children. So is that not a powerful position. And I also have to, I'm respectfully disagreeing here, and I want you to give me an example. If you can tell me hypothetically of a woman that you think would be a better leader than Trump right now.
So just to clarify.
Bro, what the fuck? Yo, this is why. Oh my God, bro. Dude, this is why I hate talking to women, dude. I'm glad Dina's getting a taste of what the fuck I deal with every day. Bro, it's like, yo, 200 words, bro. 200 words. Now you guys see why that I need to implement this rule, this law, that women only have 200 words a day, bro. Okay? 200 words a day. What the fuck? What is this retarded fucking word salad?
You don't
Even this guy who's a progressive is like, what the fuck?
think men are better at leading than women.
No, Dean, because
Perfect.
if I'm in,
I'm really happy. I'm really happy that you don't think that.
I just told you, I agree with you, right?
I want you and everybody else in the room to obviously
Then get the fuck out the chair, bitch.
not think that
If you agree, then get out the chair. What the fuck are you doing in the chair, bro? Like, yo, what's going on here, man? Like, oh my God.
men are better at leading than women. But unfortunately, the nature of this Surrounded episode
Yeah, it's the debate, dummy. Fuck up.
is where we have disagreeers in the hot seat.
Yes, so I'm asking
I'm happy
you.
you're not, though,
So
but-
if we're walking down a dark alley, let's say we're on Figueroa or something, I would be the person having to protect you. I mean, everybody's built differently. I feel like I would have to be protecting you. I'm taller. I'm sure I weigh more than you. I mean, you can take as
That's not a flex. That you weigh more than him.
many classes as you want,
Wow. Yeah.
but it's
So she came up here to make fun of him, it seems.
true, Dean.
I'm not, listen.
Men and women are.
I'm not going to disrespect your ego the same way you're attempting to insult me, and that's fine.
Well, no,
See, I'll
it's
be the
a,
bigger person here.
No,
that's
it's
the difference
it's
between
a
the
size
left and the right.
comparison. So it depends on where this conversation is going. If you're looking at body
That's
type,
funny, though.
I'm sorry, there are women that are larger
Can
than
you
men.
guys vote her out because she doesn't think that men are better at leading than women?
Tracy, it does sound like you agree on this
Yes.
prompt. So we're going to have you return to your seat and,
Okay.
and bring in a disagreeer.
Okay.
Yeah, she's retarded. Like, did she do all that to try to set up a joke?
All right, if you disagree with this claim and you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, she just wanted attention, dude.
Hi.
Hello.
Your name's Julia?
Julia Kate. So I
Oh,
want
God.
to ask you, inherent in your statement that men are not better leaders than women,
Yeah.
there's the sense that you believe men and women are different.
All right, for her, 100 words a day, bro. Oh, man. 100 words a day for her, bro. 100 words a day for her. What the fuck? I could not picture listening to this 24 hours a day, dude. Holy shit. 100 words a day for her if she was my girlfriend. Get her crate with the 500 kicks. Appreciate you, man.
Correct?
I think that there's obviously distinctions between men and women, or else we wouldn't have two different words to refer to two
Okay,
different groups.
so what are some of the distinctions?
Well, I mean, there's distinctions in the sense of cultural and social attitudes and behaviors. There's going to be that are, of course, innate to men and women because
So
I
you
don't
don't
think
believe
that
in innate
prescriptive.
distinctions?
I don't think that prescriptive gender norms exist. Now, like.
Notice also, do you guys see that he doesn't think that men have a physical superiority to women either? Do you guys catch that?
Culture refer to two
Okay,
different groups.
so what are some of the distinctions?
Well,
So what are the distinctions between men and women? Let's see what he says.
I mean, there's distinctions in the sense of cultural and social attitudes and behaviors. There's going to be that are,
Okay, that's fairly broad, but okay.
of course, innate to men and women because
So
I
you
don't
don't
think
believe
that
in innate
prescriptive.
distinctions?
I don't think that prescriptive gender norms exist. Now, like from your perspective, that we
They actually do exist. Okay? There's a reason why you don't wear a dress, Dean. Okay? There's a reason why she's wearing a dress and you're wearing a t-shirt and pants.
we were to define the genders on the basis of sex.
See, the thing is that it's so ingrained that you don't even realize that it's there. So, like, to sit there and be like gender norms aren't real when you're sitting there wearing a t-shirt and pants and you're clearly not wearing a dress or makeup, like that in of itself defeats your argument. See, this is a problem with these fucking leftists, man. Like, they don't live in reality. They don't fucking live in reality.
of course, then there's going to be sexual dimorphism and there's going to be differences present within that. Of course, like there's a plethora of differences. Listen, I'm not denying that there are differences between men and women because once again, if there wasn't differences between men and women, well, then we wouldn't have two distinct groups.
Okay, so we agree on that.
My claim is I don't think that any of the differences that exist between men and women would amount to being relevant to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women.
Do you
I'll
think
actually
women
ask
are better at leading than men?
No, I actually think that gender is completely irrelevant to the
Interchangeable
prospects
is what you're saying.
of if somebody is better at leading than the other person. I ultimately think that there's going to be no determinative ability, regardless if we're making the claim that men are better at leading than women or women are better at leading than men, to ever make that prescriptive
so what
claim.
I'm hearing is that men and women are essentially interchangeable in your mind.
Well, in my mind, once again, I just don't believe
yes
in
or
the
no?
prescriptive gender norms.
Okay,
And I think
gotcha.
that ultimately one's gender is irrelevant
can
to
I
their
ask you a
leadership
question?
capability.
Yeah. This guy's, I mean, audience captured. I don't believe in prescriptive gender norms. Like, that is a leftist, like, nightmare to prescribe gender norms for them. Fucking nightmare for them.
Abilities. If you can
Can't say anything with their chest, bro.
tell me what are the relevant differences between men and women
Yes.
that make men better at leading than women?
Yes, we can go back to the hunter and gatherers when men were the ones going out to hunt and women were the ones staying with the children and gathering fruits and nuts. Men are the people that go towards risk, that go towards provision, naturally. Why is it that in today's, even our influencer community, we have more women that are drawn towards beauty, makeup, things like family, schooling, and men are more drawn towards traditionally masculine things? It's innate in every culture that you see this trend. We are hormonally different. That's been mentioned throughout this place. You as a man do not know what it's like to have a cycle, to have a period, to have your hormones go up and down.
Yeah.
That is insanely significant for a woman's ability to lead. And women will complain about being scared to walk on the streets at night, and yet they'll elect the same politicians that release the criminals on the street.
Do you think that women should lose the right to vote?
I think that I'm not talking about that today.
You just
Okay, now he's moving the goalpost.
gotta get a quick yes or no, then go
I
back to the
think that
topic.
we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk, who
Oh,
will
Jesus.
have secure borders, who will not let criminals
Did you
on the
just
street.
unironically say strong alpha males?
Strong alpha.
Bro, he's doing a Nick Matteau fucking let's argue about semantics bullshit. This is exactly what he did to derail the conversation. Like, oh, you said strong alpha males? Oh.
Males, yeah.
Like when I said destroy hospitals?
Oh, get a grip. Stand up.
You
Listen.
bro, get a grip. You're a man. You want to mansplain to me?
Well, I mean, actually, you just said that men are better at leading than women,
I
so you
do.
should listen to every word that
I
comes out
am
of my mouth
listening.
per your perspective, right?
Mhm.
So if you think that men are the strong alpha males and women are the emotional followers, why
I
won't you
think-
follow my lead and listen to what I have to say?
First off,
because
sir,
you don't believe what
that
you
is
say.
a straw man. I believe that male and female are created equal in the image of God. We each have the same dignity and the same value. We have the same brain, the same rationality, but we have different and distinct roles.
Okay.
Why is it that women can get pregnant? Only females can get pregnant.
Well, of course, that would boil down to
Yeah, there's no social constraints there, Dean.
the physical biology.
Physical biology.
Because
and
that
isn't
of
that
the.
innate that women are more geared towards child rearing and child raising than men are?
So once again, the way that we started this conversation was by me agreeing that there are going to be differences between men and women. You
Exactly,
just simply
so men
Could
are
I
better
finish?
leaders.
I would love if I could finish. You can't say because there's differences between two things that thereby innately one of the two things is going to be better at leading than the other. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Listen, once again, my claim.
Yeah, you can. If you're naturally designed for something, it's just going to be more likely that you will be able to be better at that thing than the other group of people. I'll give you an example. Black people tend to have more fast twitch muscle fibers, which allows them to be more explosive, and they're able to generate an enormous amount of force in sports that require speed, agility, and explosiveness. Right? They have fast twitch muscle fibers for that. Whereas Caucasians, okay, tend to have less of these same fast twitch muscle fibers. Okay, so this is why when you look at like the NFL or the NBA, why are most of the athletes fucking black? Because they have an inherent advantage. Now, with that said, does that mean that white people can't participate in these sports? Of course not. There's white dudes out there that got hops. There's white dudes out there that can fucking have explosive energy and power. Okay, but the reality is that it's not to the same degree within the white race. So there's always going to be outliers, okay? So if people are designed to do something, they're obviously going to be more efficient at doing it, and a higher percentage of that group will be able to do said thing. Now, from the other group that might not be designed for it, i.e. white people and jumping high or having explosiveness, does that mean that all white men can't jump or dunk? No. But it's not going to be to the same level and degree as if you were to compare it with their black counterparts. That's simple, man. This is why, if you look at, like, let's use the NBA, like the top dunkers, they're all pretty much black. Were there white boys that could dunk and fucking do some crazy tricks and shit? Of course. But they're the minority. So, yes, innate traits do help a lot.
Claim is that the differences
They
that
do play a role.
do exist between men and women ultimately don't amount to justifying the claim that men are better at leading than women. And let me respond, because you made a lot of claims.
On and on.
I think it's been the opposite.
Okay.
To respond to your claims,
Thank
you
you,
said
sir.
that there's a difference in the hormonal balances of men and women that make women more emotional. Well, I mean, I already went over this with
It's not even just more emotional. It's that our bodies are not equipped to handle the same levels of cortisol as men. We
They're
need
actually more
care.
equipped.
Look at Donald Trump. The
They're
man
more
literally
equipped.
lives off of Diet Coke and McDonald's.
Okay.
We could not do that.
Okay, listen. Actually, women are more equipped than men to deal with stress. It is proven by
That's
the science.
actually not true.
No, I'll tell you. You can look this up.
It depends. Are we talking pain tolerance stress? Are we talking mental stress? What are we talking about here? We have to be specific. Because it is true that women have more pain tolerance than men for the birthing process. Right? But that might not necessarily, that's not the same as enduring stress from, let's say, working long hours. Or from physical stress of, like, endurance, like working out in the gym or doing physical labor. So it's different. What kind of stress are we discussing here?
Anybody at home could look this up. Women have thicker dendrites in their brain, and study after study after study has concluded time and time again that this gives women the ability to better manage their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up
Better manage stress pain-wise? Because I'll be honest, I'll give you that. But to sit there and say, oh, since women are able to have babies, they're better able to manage their stress of, like, let's say, working long hours. I don't know if that's a jump. But let's see here what the fact check says. Existing human studies show that pregnancy and childbirth are associated with complex neuroplastics changes, but there is no robust evidence that childbirth causes a global increase in dendritic thickness or density that confers uniformly superior stress resilience in women compared with men. Stress reactivity and coping capacity vary wildly within both sexes and are shaped by hormonal status, environment, mental health history, and social context, rather than a singular structural brain change linked to childbirth. Okay, that's just a fancy-ass way of saying it depends, nigga. All right, bro, great. Great fact check, Jubilee. Oh, my God. I was about to drop the F-bomb. Yeah, they put this fucking long-winded thing here to say it depends. Thanks, Jubilee. Thanks. Holy.
childbirth. The reason why women...
Literally, you could just boil this down to it depends, nigga. Which is exactly what I said. What type of stress are we dealing with here? Okay, it depends.
Have their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up childbirth. The reason why women have thicker dendrites in their brain, giving them a greater navigation ability, giving them a greater ability to deal with their pain and stress is because...
Okay, I was about to say, if you said navigation ability again, I was going to say, no, bro. No, women are actually horrible at navigation. What the fuck are you talking about? Every top tier explorer was a man for a reason, bro. Okay? Shout out to real nigga Columbus.
Because of childbirth, okay?
Like all the innovations that human beings used to sail and travel and navigate were all done by men. I watched an entire documentary on this, by the way. I watch weird shit like that in my free time, chat, not gonna lie. And like the compass, using the fucking sun and the shade, all of this shit that was used to tell time and navigate based off the sun, etc. That was all fucking discovered by fucking men, all of it. Okay? All the navigational advancements that humans have made have been created by men. So I don't know where he's coming with this navigation. Maybe he doesn't mean it from a travel perspective. Maybe he's trying to mean like navigating pain tolerance. I don't fucking know. But if we're going to talk about like navigating from like an exploration perspective, women absolutely do not have better navigation skills than men. This is demonstrably false. Okay? every explorer, every compass maker, every navigator, okay, was a man. As a matter of fact, back in the day, another fun fact for you guys, okay? So back in the day, when they would travel to like the New World or whatever, they would keep meticulous notes of their travel pattern. That stuff was considered classified back then, guys. Extremely classified. Like, you know how like we have top secret SCI shit now, right? Like sharing like, you know, our government secrets. Back in the day, exploration data was considered classified. Fun fact for you guys. So all the advancements in navigation were tightly protected. And at the time, there was a fucking arms race, or in this case, let's say a travels race, between Portugal, Spain, and the UK. So they all kept their shit classified and didn't share anything. Because they obviously wanted to be the first ones to get to the New World. And get the resources. Damn, really? Yeah. Yeah, you can look it up, dude. Back in the day, travel records, navigation records were highly classified, dude. Because all these different colonial powers were competing with each other. Portugal, Spain, England, all competing with each other.
And that's exactly why women can deal with their stress better than men. So your claim that the opposite is true is wrong. And plus, once again, when we look in society, how men deal with stress compared to how women deal with stress, well, when a man gets mad, he commits a violent crime, he kills his wife, he kidnaps...
Not all men. Some, of course. But that's not because, it's because, like I said before, men have the physical capability of exerting violence, so that's how they can do it.
His children, he sets his house ablaze, and this is why men are significantly more likely to commit every single crime on the books, including crimes that do not have a necessity for any use of physical strength, such as arson.
And also, well, and I see what he's saying here. Yeah, it's also men that protect the women from these same men. They use the same force to protect that others are using to destroy.
Cyber.
So it cancels out, man.
Bullying.
If you think women are such good leaders, why won't you let me speak?
Well, I'll happily let you speak in response to the thing that I've said.
He probably thinks your voice is annoying too. He's just never going to say it.
As long as you're able to stay on topic and respond to the meat on the bone.
Because I'm a woman and I have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better at leading than men.
No, we're not. We're good in our certain roles. We have our strengths and our values. We're good at raising children. We're very smart and adaptable. But men are the people that need to be out there fighting crime for us, protecting us, so that we feel safe and we can keep our children safe. Why do you think that just historically, more men are CEOs, more men are presidents, senators, whatever kind of leadership role you want to talk about? That is not because of white supremacy, colonization, or some kind of legal limit. It's because men are drawn to those roles. Today, women have the same exact rights as men, and still, a lot of them choose to stay at home or feel that they can't stay at home because of societal pressures.
Okay, well, I think that you said it there at the end. Societal pressures. Societal pressures are the reason why I think that we've seen more men in positions of power, more men in leadership fields, and more men's calling the shot. But if you're the position that underpins your claim here would be that if we see an overrepresentation of men in a field in comparison to women, that men are then by definition better performing in that field. So in the same way you're claiming the position that underpins your claim here would be that if we see an overrepresentation of men in a field in comparison to women, that men are then by definition better performing in that field. So in the same way you're claiming.
Okay, I see what he's arguing. He's saying that overrepresentation does not necessarily mean competence. Okay, let's see what else he has to say with this.
That because of a vast majority of leaders are men, therefore women are worse at leading. Would you also claim that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? I just want to direct yes or no to my question so then I can follow this up with a dialogue.
Become surgeons because it's a more masculine thing. It takes more masculine traits.
Could you
to have to look at the blood. I said yes, but I want to ask you, would you agree that men are more oppressed today than women? Men are told
Okay, that's a whole other topic.
that they're toxic for being masculine. The only laws that prevent any gender from getting a role.
I need to respond.
We have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. You are oppressed more than me.
This chick is crazy. Okay, listen. I think that you're crazy.
Yeah, he couldn't. He as a white guy, he can't agree to that. That'd be like career suicide for him as a progressive male.
Crazy because you just said that I'm more oppressed than you, while also claiming that I'm a better leader than you after making the argument that disproportionately men have been in positions of leadership throughout history when leadership is what grants power. But anyways, insanity. Listen, I asked you a question. I said, do you think that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? The reason why I asked this question is because you made the claim that men are better at leading than women because a vast majority of leaders have been men. You said, yes, Dean, because a vast majority of surgeons are men, therefore men are better. The science says, no, men are actually worse at surgery. So the American Medical Association did a study in conjunction with the Journal of the American Medical Association. They did this study on 1.4 million patients over 6 continents in 14 years. And what they determined consistently is that when we account for every single confounding variable that could possibly exist, every single time, men are significantly more likely to kill a patient on the operating table or to give them negative postoperative outcomes in comparison to women. It is one of the most well-accredited studies ever.
Okay, large observational studies, including studies in JAMA surgery, have found that patients treated by female surgeons have slightly lower rates of adverse postoperative outcomes, including death, complication, and readmission, compared with patients treated by male surgeons. Okay, found that patients treated by female surgeons have slightly lower rates of adverse postoperative outcomes.
Conducted in human history.
This seems to me to be a little bit different from what he's saying. He's kind of telling a tall tale here versus this saying slightly lower of adverse postoperative outcomes.
That is reasonably concluded that women are better at surgery than men, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. And this is exactly what debunks your claim that if a field is overrepresented by men, that therefore men are better at performing in it.
Of our natural desires.
Yeah, so she's making the argument that men are drawn towards it more. She didn't really make the argument that they're better. It's just that men are more interested in that stuff, hence more men will get into that career field. He counters and says, well, he thinks that she's implying since there's more male representation, men are better at it. So they're kind of talking past each other here. But his claim saying that women are better at surgery, see, the issue here is that you have a smaller sample size of women. So they're just simply not going to have as many fuck-ups as the men do. Okay, they're just not, because there's less. So he said that they accounted for variables. Did they compare apples to apples, though? Did they, do it per capita? I hate to use that fucking thing, but no one knows what that is. Did they actually account for the fact that, men control 85% and women are 50%? Did they compare apples to apples? Because, you have to go off a ratio at that point. You can't go off of the raw numbers. You have to use a ratio to make it equal. To actually, to be able to properly equate here. Yes, I did say ratio, Pendu Alt. Shut the fuck up. Just literally said ratio, retard. I was making a joke with the per capita because a lot of people get mad every time you say they commit more crime. So, very, very interesting.
What men and women are naturally drawn to.
But women are better at surgery, even though they account for a minority of surgeons.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I got to look at that. It says there's slightly less post-operative issues, but what are those post-operative issues? We need to know exactly what it is. And it said only slightly. So, I don't know. And then also, how are you going to quantify what makes you a better surgeon? Right? For some people, they might say, well, my surgery only took 2 hours with a man versus it took 5 hours with a woman. Maybe speed is more important. Another one is, well, I was able to, I was in a cast for a short amount of time. I was off crutches faster with a man or with a woman. It was cheaper. There's so many different elements that can go into what makes a better surgeon. It's not just the performance in of itself. It's a bunch of other things as well that have to do with the surgery. And then also, everyone is different. So that's another issue with this comparison. But anyway, let's just keep going on.
Completely debunks your argument.
Sure, that could be a thing, but I'm saying
So
that naturally men are drawn towards roles of risk and provision. That's because
I'll tell you this. I think most common sense people would prefer to go under the knife with a male surgeon over a female surgeon. Okay? I think even if you took women and they're going to get their boobs done, most women would probably prefer to have a male surgeon, bro. Let's just keep it real. All right?
of innate biological characteristics.
But women are better at surgery.
And I said that you're
because clearly, if what he's saying is all the way true, there'd be a profound increase in female surgeons and and people going to female surgeons. So it said slightly, which means it's negligible. Okay, so it doesn't matter. In general, it's not that much of a difference.
Repressed because of society telling you that you need to be a beta woke man. You are not like oppressed as a leader. Like instinctually, you want to lead, you want to teach me. That's because of your nature, and I appreciate that very much. But I disagree with your claims.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to concede here that your argument that men are better at leading than women because more men are leaders than women is false. And the reason
Okay, we gotta stop there. We're out of time, so please return to your seat.
Pleasure.
That's a rounded episode.
What the fuck are these soy boy niggas?
America by destroying these echo chambers and addressing the issues plaguing everyday Americans. Tune into our show, The Split, Sunday, June 28th on Jubilee.
My next surrounded.
Okay, so no one addressed what I wanted to say. Oh, Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator. Okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Okay, guys, we're gonna switch over to OSS. All you guys watching on YouTube, Kick, etc., we're gonna switch to OSS. It's only $1 to join, bro. It supports the mission. All right, we're gonna switch on over to OSS. It's only $1. Use the code LYouTube. Quick word from our sponsor.
Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will have prosperity and peace for all.
The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused.
The United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil.
This is not just a war about security. It's an information war. They need you to believe their stories, or else it all comes crashing down. This war began decades ago, but now you have the right intelligence to guide you, an army to march with, brothers to discuss with, and an admiral to lead the way. Join the OSS Army. Yeah, guys, I dropped the code in there for you guys. Just jump on in. Okay, jump on in. We're going to keep cooking on this. It's going to be good. Also, none of the women addressed why men are better leaders than women. I will give my argument if I were to be debating Dean Withers here, because none of them said it. They didn't even come close to what argument I would make. And then we're gonna cover this. Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator. This is gonna be fucking hilarious. We're gonna do this on OSS. It's only $1, guys. Use the code LYouTube. I got a pin in the chat for y'all. If you guys fuck with me, you like the content, if you feel like I've been able to give you value, whatever, this is the best way by far to support. This is how I'm able to continue running operations here, despite the fact that I'm demonetized on YouTube. So come on over, guys. We're gonna switch on over right now. Okay, I dropped the link in the chat. Use the code LYouTube. It's $10 a month. Okay, we literally cover it all over here. One-stop shop. Whether it's true crime, women, dating, social dynamics, geopolitics, both domestic and foreign. We had probably one of the most diverse shows tonight. We went from, preventing suicide to the mafia, FBI cases, red pill shit, sex with your wife, all types of stuff, man. We literally covered it all. Now we're covering debates. So we do it all on this fucking channel, guys. Okay, I've been going for 7 hours now. We're going to go ahead and go into 7 hours of free content. I don't want to hear no fucking crying. Come on over, guys. Let's do OSS. Let's cover this. Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator. This is going to be hilarious. Also, I'm going to be covering, I'm going to give my rebuttal if I were debating Dean Withers on the topic of men are better leaders than women. And his argument is men are not better leaders than women. I'm going to show why he's wrong. So we're switching over. Come on over, niggas. OSS time, baby. Let's get the OSS chat on screen, by the way, too. Let's get the real nigga chat on here. It's O/time, niggas. Oh, shit. Here we go. We already got the Hitler memes coming. All right. We're switching over, niggas. Come on over. OSS time. OSS time. Come on over. Use the code